Now it's time for our story number 9, our weekly partnership with the Los Angeles Sentinel. For our LA Sentinel Community Insider, correspondent Niele Anderson joins us in studio with today's top stories. Good morning.
Good morning.
Niele, as always, you guys have big stories you're working on this week. But first, let's start with a local pastor who's retiring, and I know him. He's wonderful.
Wonderful. It's a very popular church here in Los Angeles, First AME Church. J. Edgar Boyd, who's been the pastor for the past 11 years, is retiring after 52 years of ministry to the church. And so he's been very instrumental to our community. He used to be the pastor in the 80s and 90s at Bethel AME on 79th and Western. Very instrumental during the 92 civil unrest, where he brought healing to the Korean and Black communities during that time.
Right.
So he's what you call a social justice pastor. And so it's always good to celebrate people while they're alive and give them their flowers. So he's retiring after 52 years of ministry.
Amazing.
And so they're going to celebrate him with a gala, a roast, and a jazz concert.
Of course, a roast, right?
A holy roast is what they're calling it.
I like that, yes, a holy roast.
Yes.
And Niele, the celebration goes on 3 days, is it?
It's a 3-day event. Yeah, it starts with the Holy Roast, then it's the Black Tie Gala, and then they're going to end it with the Jazz Festival at the historic Allen House.
And of course, the First AME Church, the oldest African-American church in Los
Angeles.
Yeah.
150 years old.
Wow, what an accomplishment, Pastor Boyd. Congratulations.
Yes.
Well, the next topic we're going to talk about is something we here at KCAL News are involved in. Let's talk about the Taste of Soul.
Taste of Soul is like what we like to say. Just so you know, everybody know we're still accepting vendors right now. But today we want to highlight one of our special vendors. Her name is K. Michelle. It's K. Michelle Kitchen Catering. She specializes in Creole, Caribbean, and curry spices. One of my favorites that she does is her shrimp and grits.
Done.
Delicious,
Sold.
delicious. And she's a caterer to a lot of politicians out here in LA, especially hip hop artists. Offset, Cardi B's husband, she's catered for him, Soulja Boy, and our very own, he raps with Snoop Dogg, Corrupt. So she's catered for a lot of people, and it's always good to see the local vendors come out and highlight their specialties, and Angelinos just love it.
That's right. Taste of Soul, you know, such good food, endless amount of food, the music, the community, such a great event. All right. And third, let's talk about the labor movement, which is front and center here in Los Angeles right now.
Well, you know, we're approaching Labor Day, so we decided to highlight the first Black woman to lead the Los Angeles County Federation of Labor. Her name is Yvonne Willer. And so we sat down for an in-depth conversation to her. And one of the things that she highlighted is that they're fighting to raise the minimum wage to $25. And what I found very interesting is that she says $25 is low when you consider that it takes $42 an hour for a single parent to afford a 2-bedroom home. So just looking at that, I mean, this is so important to have labor movements. We look at Monday was the 60th anniversary on the March on Washington for jobs and freedom. And so we think about what's happening in our city when we look at the strike. There's over 100,000 people striking right now, from writers to actors to hospitality. So as we go into the Labor Day holiday, let's remember those individuals are striking and celebrate those who are fighting for a living wage.
That's right. Important for voices to be heard. Right.
Most
Niele,
definitely.
thank you so much as always. You bring us great stories that you're covering.
Oh, my pleasure.
All right. And for all the information on these stories you just heard, check out this week's edition of the Los Angeles Sentinel. Scan the QR code on your screen right there for all the details.